Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sri Guru Charana Padma, Kevala Bhakti Satma, Kandamoy Savadana Te Jahara Prasade Bai, E Baba Toriya Jai, Krishna Prapti Ho Ye Jaha Ho Te, Krishna Prapti Ho Ye Jaha Te, Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna and welcome, Manakam, all the devotees for today's 30 session of the presentation titled The Journey of the Soul after Death from Garuda Purana. Okay, we have completed first 2 days and today will be the last day. So today we'll have a lot of discussion also after the class. And the best thing is that towards the end of my class today, I'll be sharing the solution, the conclusion of what Krishna himself spoke in Garuda Purana to Garuda. What is the conclusion? What is the solution for all the problems we have spoken for the last 2 days? Okay. Okay, today we'll continue third day of titled Journey of the Soul after Death from Garuda Purana. Okay, let me ask a question. You can unmute and answer this question. The question is, how to know one is really happy? That is a question. So anyone can unmute and answer this question. Anyone?
If one is at peace.
If one is at peace, okay, thank you, Prabhu. Any more?
If a person's face is happy and has a smile on their face and their face doesn't look stressed, then they are happy.
Okay, thank you. Any other answer?
Feeling and expression.
Feeling of expression. Okay, any more?
Prabhuji, no one can be happy, I guess.
What is that, Mataji? Can you repeat, please?
I don't think so. There could be anyone who could be completely happy in this material world.
This material world, no one can be completely happy. Okay, any other answer?
When you don't feel distressed, even in distressful situations?
Yes, okay. Any more?
Because they have devoted themselves to Krishna.
Okay, when you devote your life in Krishna. Okay. Okay, let us see what Socrates, the great philosopher Socrates, said. Okay, he said that if you see their face at the time of death, if they are peaceful and happy, then they have been happy in their whole life. That's what he said. At the time of death, we see their face. Okay. Okay, last 2 days we have spoken how we have to do the pinda offering after the funeral rites and everything. Okay, on the Karmadi day, okay, it is mentioned that when the priests perform the Karmadi ceremony, the priests have to give a certain token, certain donations have been given to the priests. We have to give umbrella, shoes, clothes, a ring, water jar, stool, and vessel. This item must be given as a donation to the priest because this item, if given as a donation to the priest, so those departed soul on their journey towards the Yamaloka, they will get all these things. They will get when we give as a donation to the priests who perform the karmadi. All these items, those departed soul, they will get. So they'll be using all these items to ease their journey towards Yamaloka. All the items can be used by them to ease their journey towards Yamaloka. Okay, now we talk about Masika Pinda. Okay, we spoke yesterday, we spoke how for the 10 days you have to offer Pinda. Okay, for the 10 days, the soul will get new body which is called Pindam Sarira. And 11, 12 days, the soul will eat sumptuously. And on a 13th day, the soul will depart towards Yamaloka for the 1-year journey. Okay, after that, the family members have to perform monthly Pinda offering, which is called Masika Pinda, means a monthly Pinda offering has to be performed. So you should go and get the 12 months Tithi. Okay, 12 months the Tithi, you go to the temple, the Pujari will give you the 12 month Tithi. So every month you have to do this Masika Pinda, this monthly offering of Pinda. It is mentioned that having passed successively through 16 cities, the soul towards the journey to Yamaloka in 1-year journey will come across 16 cities. The soul, these 16 cities are located in the lower region, in the lower planetary systems. Okay, there are lower planetary systems. Okay, and we know the lowest is Padaloka. Below Padaloka is the Hellish and Yamaloka. Okay, so the soul will go through 16 cities, and it is mentioned that the soul will eat the first month Masika Pinda when it reaches Samyapuri. Okay, the first city called Samyapuri or Yamyapuri, the soul will stop and eat there the first month offering. And the second month offering, the soul will eat at Nagendra Bhavana. And third month will be, the soul will be eating at Gandharva. And fourth month at Shailagama. And fifth month, Pindam, the soul will eat at Krauncha. 6th month will be at Purapura. And 8th will be Chitra Bhavana, and 9th will be Bhavapada. So at Bhavapada, the soul will take the 7th month offering. And the 8th month will be at Dukkada. And the 9th month offering, Masika Pinda, the soul will eat in Nana Kandapura. And the 10th month offering, the soul will eat at Suttapa Bhavana. And at Raudra, the soul will take the 11th month offering. And the 12th month, that is a Devasam, the 1-year annual Shraddha. The 12th month, the soul will take at Payo Varshana. And after that, the soul will leave towards the 15 and 16 city. That is Sita, Sitadya, and Bahubiti. These are 16 cities. The soul will pass us by, okay, and will take the 12th month offering. Can somebody please unmute and read for me?
At the end of the year,
Prabhu,
coming
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can't see the screen.
of Yama, having reached the city, Bahubati, he cast off the body, the measure of a hand,
The spirit.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu, can't see the screen.
You can't see the
the
screen.
spirit
Yeah, Hare Krishna
Light
Prabhu.
of
The screen
Ram.
is like totally black, Prabhu.
Yes, the screen is
took
black
out
actually.
its
For me, it's okay.
the
For I can
body
see.
Yes, you can read.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, Prabhu.
You can read. That means she can see the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see the screen.
torment
I can
set
see too.
out through the air with the servants of Yama.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, at the end of the year, come in nearer to
Thanks.
the food.
Try to exit and rejoin again, Mataji.
I can see the screen, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. Maybe something wrong with Mataji's. Okay. So here we can see the statement mentioned here, at the end of the year, coming nearer to the Buddha of Yama, having reached the city of Bhaviti, that is the 16th city, he casts off the body, the measure of a hand. Here, when the soul reaches the 16th city, that's where the soul will cast off, will remove the Pinda Sarira body. Will remove the Pinda Sarira body and will assume a new body. The spirit, the size of a thumb. Now back the Preta size will be the size of a thumb. During the 1 year journey, the size will be the size of an arm, correct? So now the soul will cast off, will remove the body, which was the size of an arm, and now the soul will assume a new body, which is the size of a thumb. To work out his karma, getting a body of Taman sets out through the air with the servant. So after assuming the body of a thumb, the soul will enter the palace of Yamaraj. Okay, so the soul will eat the final Shraddha offering, okay, the final offering. 1 year, and there was the soul will eat, okay, at Payovarshana, okay, that was 1460. And then the soul will go to the 16th city, which is Bahubiti. And after Bahubiti, the soul will cast off the Pinda Sarira body and assume a new body. Okay, so the new body is made of the 12-month pindam, masika pindam. Okay, the merit from eating the 12-month masika pindam. So that merit will be used to make a new body. And also, whatever punya, whatever merit performed by the kings on earth during the 1 year. So that is why it is recommended that the family member, the king, for the 1 year, they must perform as much as possible punya or merits and offer to the dead soul. Because before the soul enters Yamaraj palace, the soul will assume a new body, which is made of the merit from the 10-month pinda offering, as well as the punya, whatever punya the soul gets from the family members on earth. So it's very, very important. That is why this 1 year you must perform as much punya as possible. Chanting, like giving donations, giving dana, doing go puja, giving donation to cows, so many things, chanting, reading Bhagavad Gita, so many, all these you must perform, the family members must perform during the 1 year. So all the money will go to the dead person. And it is mentioned the size of the soul will be thumb, size of a thumb before it enters the Yamaraj palace. And once he assumes the new body, then the soul will enter the palace of Yamaraj. There are two kinds of souls. The Yamaduta will come and take to Yamaloka. Okay, the one is sinful soul, and second is pious soul. For the sinful soul, the Yamadutas, they will be torturing the soul. They'll tie with a rope. They'll beat them up. They'll torture them. And the journey, 1 year journey, will be full of suffering. If the soul is sinful soul, okay, the journey will be very much suffering, full of sufferings. But the pious soul, the Yamadutas, what they will do, they'll give a horse, they will garland the soul, they play music, and the journey towards Yamaloka for the pious soul will be a very pleasant journey. It is mentioned full of ponds, full of garden flowers. The path is so pleasant because this is the pious soul. They are meant to go to heaven. So they'll be very much given respect by the Yamadutas. It is mentioned. Okay. And the path taken by the punya, by the pious soul is different than the path taken by the sinful soul along the 1 year journey towards him. Both of them will go to Yamaloka to reach, to have darshan of Yamaraj. but the path will be different. It is mentioned. So can somebody read for me, please?
Very sinful people behold the terrifying form of Yama, huge of body, red in hand, skated on a buffalo, roaring like a cloud at the time of a pralaya, pralaya, like a mountain of lamp-black, terrible with weapons gleaming like lightning, possessing 32 arms, extending 3 yojanas, with eyes like wells, with mouth gaping, with formidable fangs, with red eyes and a long nose.
Thank you very much. So this is how those sinful souls, upon reaching Yamaraj palace, when they stand in front of a Yamaraj, this is the form of a Yamaraj they will see. Garuda Purana mentioned that this is the form they will see, those sinful souls. See, a very terrifying, horrible form of Yamaraj. That is what those sinful souls will see. It is mentioned. And they will see Yamaraj with 32 arms. Yamaraj will have 32 arms and he will stretch 3 yojanas. 1 yojana is and 3 yojanas is 24 miles. That is how his arms are stretched. 24 miles. Can you imagine? Like a mountain with the teeth like a lion teeth. Lightning, eyes like a well, burning red eyes. That is the vision of Yamaraj. Those sinful souls will see. So horrible, so terrible form they will see. But those pious souls will see Yamaraj so beautiful. So beautiful. It is mentioned the Yamaraj form is very handsome, so beautiful. Is one of the most prominent devatas. So that is what the pious soul will see. They will see him so pleasant looking, so beautiful. That is the vision Yamaraj will give to those pious people. And those sinful people will see this form. It is mentioned in Garuda Purana. Having eaten there, the undecaying fruits, they mean after suffering in hell, they are born again. By order of Yama, they return to earth and become unmoving and other creatures. So after the sinful soul suffered in hell, after they completed their karma, they'll be born again on earth. They'll be born as a mountain, as trees, as plants, as lower creatures. It is many trees, bushes, plants, creepers, rocks, and grasses. They will be born. These are spoken of as unmoving, enveloped in great delusion. These are the forms, those sinful people, after suffering in hell, they will take these forms on earth. So it is mentioned in Garuda Purana. Okay, next question is that why remnant of Shraddha? Remember the pindam we offered to the disease. After that, the best is given to crow. The remnant of the Shraddha is offered to crow. Of course, if you don't have crow in your vicinity, you can offer to other animals like cows, goats, chicken, fishes, ants. You have to give donation or charity to them, let them eat. But the best thing animal to give, the remnants, are crows. Why crows are the best to receive the remnant of Shraddha? Because in Ramayana, there's one story. One Lord Ram and Sita. Sita was sleeping on the lap of Lord Ram. And at that time, the son of Lord Indra, he will take the form of a crow and we're flying around and will come to the spot where Sita is sleeping on the lap of Lord Ram. So when the crow came there, the crow will be poking at the foot of Sita, and Sita will awoke. She'll wake up. And because of that, Lord Ram become very angry to the crow. And Lord Ram will curse the crow. Will curse the crow that beginning from now, you can only see with one eyeball at a time. So crow can only see one object only with one eyeball. We human can see one object with two eyeballs, but crow can only see with one eyeball at a time. If the object is on the left, the crow will use the left eyeball to see. If the object is on the right, the crow will use the right eyeball to see, because the curse of Lord Ram. After the curse of Lord Ram, the crow will apologize and ask for forgiveness for Lord Ram. And for that, Lord Ram will give a boon to the crow. And Lord Ram will tell that from now onward, even though you can only see an object at a time with one eyeball, I'll give you a boon that you can see anything that other creatures are not able to see. So crow can see what other creatures can't see. Crow can see the Yamadutas. Crow can see the dead soul going. The crow can see. So that is why the remnant of the Shraddha is best is offered to crow. Because when you feed the crow, crow will recommend to the Yamadutas that the family members have fed me. So please bless the soul you are taking towards Yamaloka. The crow will ask, will recommend for blessing to Yamadutas for the dead person, because the family members have fed the crow. So this story is mentioned, happened in drama, and that is why crow is the best creature to offer the remnants of the Shraddha. Okay, in Macha Purana, there is a question. Okay, Shraddha means there was a 1 year, there was some 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, okay. So during that, we'll do a puja, and then we invite Brahmanas, devotees, and we'll feed them. We offer Shraddha Pindam to that person, and then we serve the Brahmanas, the devotees. So there's a question, when you serve the devotees, okay, Lord's devotees, when you serve on Shraddha, how the dead person will receive the merit. How the dead person will receive the merit. Okay, it is mentioned. So it is mentioned that the Pitra Devargal, okay, the deities of Pitra, that who are like Vasu, Rudra, Aditya, they will come. They will come and take the offering. They will take the merits and give to the soul. Wherever the soul is, assuming the soul have taken reincarnated in different places, they still, the Putra Devargal, they will take and give the merits to the soul, because it is offered by the family members during Shraddha. How they will get? If the soul have reincarnated as a deity, as a devar, they will get in the form of a nectar, the merit, the offering, they will get in the form of nectar if they have reincarnated as a deity. If they have reincarnated as Gandharva, they will get the merits as an article of music. If they have reincarnated as animal, they will get in the form of grass. Naga, dragon, in the form of air. Bird, they will get in the form of fruit. If they are born as a demon, they will get in the form of a meat. If they are born as a goat, they will get in the form of a blood. If they're born as a man, they will get in the form of a grain. And if they're born as a child, they will get as an article of enjoyment. So this is mentioned how those who have reincarnated When you perform Shraddha, you offer pindam, you serve the Brahmana, the devotee, the merits and also the Shraddha will go to the dead person. Wherever they are, whatever form they have reincarnated, they'll get accordingly. It is mentioned there. Okay? Okay, there's one question in Garuda Purana. Garuda will ask Krishna one question. Garuda will ask, oh my Lord, on the Shraddha day, when the family members feed devotees, when they feed the devotees, will the dead person get the merits? Will the dead person also get the Shraddha? Will the dead person also eat the Shraddha offered by the family members on Shraddha day? This question was posed by Garuda to Krishna in Garuda Purana. So Krishna will explain using Ramayana. One pastime happened during Ramayana. Krishna will explain the question, give the answer by narrating a pastime happened during Ramayana. In Ramayana, we know that Dasratha king will die when Lord Ram and Sita, they were in jungle. After 1 year, Lord Dasratha king departed. 1 year Shraddha, there was the anniversary of 1 year departure of Dasratha. Lord Ram and Sita will perform the Shraddha in the heart in the jungle. And what they will do, they will invite the rishis and brahmanas and they will feed them. And Lord Ram will be feeding one line of rishis, brahmana, Lord Ram will feed them. And Sita Devi will feed one row of rishis and brahmanas. Halfway when Sita was feeding the rishis and brahmana, Sita Devi will drop all the pot and ran away out from the hut and hide behind a tree. She'll run away halfway when she was serving the brahmanas and rishis. And Lord Ram got surprised. What happened to Sita Devi? And Lord Ram will continue to serve all the brahmanas and rishis. So after the brahmanas and rishis left, after Lord Ram gave them donation, dakshana and all, after they left, Sita Devi will return back to the heart. And Lord Ram will ask Sita Devi, oh Devi, while you were serving the brahmanas and rishis, why halfway I saw you drop everything and you ran away and hide behind the tree? Why? Lord Ram will ask her. And Sita Devi will explain that, oh my Lord, while I was serving the brahmanas and rishis, I saw your father, Dasratha, King Dasratha. I saw your father also sitting together with the brahmanas and he was eating the prasadam. I saw your father sitting and eating together with the brahmanas. So I felt how I can present myself in such a condition, because Sita was a princess. So how I can present myself in such a condition in front of father-in-law, your father. That is why out of shame, I ran away and hid behind a tree. That was the answer of Sita Devi to Lord Ram. So this pastime was answered by Krishna to Garuda, answering the question of Garuda, will the dead person get? Will they eat when we offer Shraddha to them? Yes, the answer is yes. Krishna is saying yes through this story. They will come and eat when you feed the Brahmana and the rishis on Shraddha day. They will come and eat. It is mentioned during the period of Shraddha, Lord Yamaraja releases even the ghosts and the ancestors staying in hell, who being hungry run to the world of mortals to receive the offering made by the relatives. So it is mentioned here that on Shraddha day, Yamaraj will open the door of hell and he will allow the soul to go to earth and receive the Shraddha offered by the family members on Shraddha Day, on the Devasam Day. It is mentioned. The Lord Ram will open the gate of hell and allow, Yamaraj, will have opened the gate of hell and allow them to go and eat and come on Shraddha Day. It is mentioned here. So that is why very important on Shraddha, on Devasam Day, you must do the ceremony. You must offer prasadam, pindam. You must feed devotees. Very, very important. You must give donation and all that. So it's very important that person will come and eat in your house. If the performer of Shraddha has invited a single Brahmana for the Shraddha, if you have invited one Brahmana and you feed them, the father, if he is dead, he will stay in the stomach of the Brahmana and eat. The grandfather will stay on the left side of the Brahmana devotee and eat. The great-grandfather will sit on the right side of the devotee and will eat. And the consumer will be on the back of the Brahmana and eat. It is mentioned here, that's how they will eat. Of course, they won't appear in front of you and they will eat. They won't do that. Okay? But they will be in the body of a devotee and they will eat the prasadam. That is why very important on Shraddha, you must invite, if possible, you must invite devotee and serve them. Because by serving the devotee, the dead person will come and eat the Shraddha. In Vishnu Purana, Lord Vishnu will tell that I will eat through two ways. Two ways I will eat. First, through yajna. Yajna is the mouth of Lord Vishnu. So when we offer grains, and ghee and all that, in the fire of yajna, it is actually Lord Vishnu is eating. He says that Vishnu Purana, I eat through yajna. That is why during yajna, you must offer the grains into the fire respectfully. You cannot play and with a dirty hand, you must be clean. So you must respect because it is the mouth of Lord Vishnu. You're offering the grains. And second is Lord Vishnu says that I eat through the Brahmanas. The Brahmanas here is not by birth, oh, I'm a Brahmana caste. No, that's not the kind of Brahmana Lord Vishnu says here. Lord Vishnu means by Brahmana, by his devotees. You also can become Brahmana. How you can become Brahmana? By qualities, by the activities you perform. Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita, what are the qualities of Brahmana? What are the activities of Brahmana? What are the qualities of Kshatriya and the activity of Kshatriya? Krishna mentioned that in Bhagavad Gita. You also can become Brahmana if you acquire the qualities of Brahmana. So these are the Brahmana Lord Vishnu mentioned here. It is not by birth, by caste Brahmanas. No, not that kind of Brahmanas. So Vishnu said, I eat through two ways. One is yajna and one is through the Brahmana. So when we feed the devotees, Vishnu eat. We can understand from here. When you feed the devotees, Lord Vishnu eats through them. He mentioned this in Vishnu Purana. Okay, let us speak about suicide. Because there were many questions about suicide. Because we mentioned how for the 10 days you must offer pindam, and 11, 12 days, on 30 days a leave, and the mastika pindam every month. We mentioned that, correct? But how about those who committed suicide? Here it is mentioned, there are some cases, suicide, where cremation ceremonies are not to be performed, nor are the dead offered pinda or tarpana for 1 year. Yes, those who have committed suicide, whatever I've told you for the past 2 days, the pinda offering, the masika pinda, all that, nothing will go to them. Even though you offer, nothing will go to them. They will never get. It is mentioned in Garuda Purana. The soul has to wander in ghostly form for 1 year as punishment. Nobody have the right to take his own life. Nobody. Because the life is given by God. Only God can give you life and take your life. Only God have the right. Nobody have the right. Nobody. Even Yamaraj has no right. He will just perform his duty accordingly. Only the Lord have the right to give you life and take away your life. Other than that, nobody has the right. So when you commit suicide, you are taking away your life. That is a great sin you are performing. For that, as a punishment, the soul will never get any pindam, any masika pindam, nothing for 1 year. The soul has to wander as a ghost for 1 year as a punishment. It is mentioned here. After 1 year, then there is a special rite we have to perform for those who have committed suicide. And that rite, that ceremony is called Narayana Bali. It's a very complicated. Those priests who are familiar, they will know how to do. If you go to India, even Malaysia, there are few, but in India, you go, they know the priests can perform the Narayana Bali. This is a special rites ceremony you have to do for those who have committed suicide. It is mentioned here. Okay, today morning I did a survey. I did a survey to see those people who are committing suicide in the world. So this data is from 2016. You can see that these are the causes of death in the world. Okay, number one cause of death in the world is cardiovascular disease, the heart problem, all that. These are the number one killing disease in the world. And suicide, you can see, is number 15. Number 15 is suicide in the world. Number 15 is very high also for the suicide. This data taken from 2016. And okay, and then suicide, you can see here. For those who have died from the age of 15 to 49, you can see the suicide is the number 6. So that means teenagers, a lot of teenagers from the age of 15 to 49 committed suicide in the world. Many of them, teenagers, is number 6. You can see this data from 2017. So you can see all over the many teenagers are committing suicide. Let me ask a question. Why a lot of teenagers committing suicide? That's my question. Please unmute and give your answer. Why a lot of teenagers committing suicide? Anyone?
Prabhu, could be love failure?
Could be love failure. Okay, that could be one of the reasons.
Hare
Others?
Krishna Prabhu. They want to find an easy way out. They do not want to face stresses in life.
Yes, they want to find a way out. Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Any more?
Results?
Yes, Mataji?
Exams results?
Yeah, failure, they couldn't take the result of the exam, they fail or what. The peer pressure. Yes. Any other reason?
Actually, they do not have the knowledge of what is the importance of their life they got. So
Yeah.
this is also one thing.
Yes.
Depression.
Yeah, depression, yes.
Performance pressure.
Problems, pressure, stress, yes, thank you. Any
Prabhu, can this consider as karma?
karma? Suicide can't be considered karma. Karma will never cause you suicide. Okay? A natural death, yes, but suicide is not karma. Karma will only put you in your situation, but suicide is the decision taken by the jiva. The jiva will
Family problem.
family problems. Okay, all these, yes, true. All these are the causes which lead the teenagers to commit suicide. Okay, these data, these facts came from who? I took from who on 17 June 2021. Reason, it is mentioned that around the world, 700,000 people die due to suicide every year. Can you imagine? 700,000 people die, committed suicide every year. For every suicide, there are many more people who attempt suicide. There are many people who attempted suicide, but they didn't succeed. Okay, but many attempted. A prior suicide attempt is a single most important risk factor for the suicide in the general population. Before they committed suicide, actually they have taken so many attempts to commit suicide. So this is a very big risk, it is mentioned. Suicide is the fourth leading cause of death in 15 to 19 years old. Can you imagine? Between 15 and 19 years old teenagers, suicide is the top four cause of death in the world. So you can see a lot of teenagers are committing suicide. 77% of the global suicide occur in low and middle income countries. Those low and middle income countries like Asian countries, the African countries, some European countries who are, low and middle income. These are the people are vulnerable to commit suicide. And then it is mentioned, ingestion of pesticide. They mean they're taking, all those poisons like pesticide and hanging and firearms. These are top three ways how they committed suicide in the world. Most of them drank pesticides, or they hanged themselves, or they shot themselves with firearms. So these statistic data comment came from who? So I taken from on 17 June 2021. So you can see from here how suicide is becoming a big problem. There are four types of people after they die will become ghosts. They won't continue towards the next life. They'll be wandering like a ghost for 1 year. Who are they? The first person, those who committed suicide. Second, those who had a violent death. Violent death means, for example, they are killed by animal like tiger, like a lion. Sometimes they are killed by 10 to 20 people will chop them off and kill them. So something like a violent death. So these people will become ghosts. And then third is those who are attached to the families, to the material, to the money, to life, too much attached, they will become ghosts. And fourth is those who lived a very simple life. And these are the four types of groups of people will become ghosts after they die. They won't continue with the journey immediately, but they'll be wandering on earth as a ghost. Okay, finally, after hearing so many things, Garuda got tired to listen all those punishment, all those hell, all those torturing. Then finally, Garuda will ask Krishna. He will ask, Garuda said, "Oh my Lord, I have heard from you, O ocean of compassion, about the transmigrating of the individual through ignorance." You see, because their ignorance, Garuda said they committed sin. They committed all the bad things because of ignorance. In the worlds of change, this material world is temporary. Garuda says the world of change. I now wish to hear about the means for eternal liberation. Finally, Garuda wanted to hear, "Oh my Lord, I want to hear how the soul can get liberation. Mukti, moksha, that is where the Lord will speak." And it's mentioned here. Can somebody read for me, please?
He who
Never, Hare Krishna, get somebody else to read. You have read so many times.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, get somebody else to read.
He who having obtained a human body, difficult to get and a step to liberation, does not help himself over. Who in this world is more sinful than he? The man who, having obtained this highest birth and superior senses, does not understand what benefits the soul, is a slayer of Brahma, soul. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna.
Very much, Mataji. So you see the statement by Krishna himself in Garuda Purana. Krishna said that to get human body is very, very difficult. You would have taken millions of birds, all those animals. There are 8,400,000 species of life. And out of that, human species are 400,000. So equivalent to 5% only. So to get a human form of life is very difficult. Krishna himself says that. And Krishna said it's a step to liberation. It says that the human form of life is a step towards liberation. But if once you got a human form of life, you did not help yourself. You don't acquire the spiritual knowledge. If you don't perform bhakti, you didn't attempt to understand Lord. Krishna said, who in this world is more sinful than he? Krishna said that. Can you imagine? Once you got a human form of life, what is the purpose we got human form of life is mentioned here. Then Krishna said, the man who, having obtained this highest birth and superior senses, does not understand what benefit the soul, is the slayer of Brahman, is a killer of the soul. The Lord said that. If you never attempt to understand God, you never attempt to go back home to God, you are considered a killer of your own soul. The Lord says that. So it's a very, very heavy statement. So to get human form of life, you must have done so much of punya in your previous life. So, but once you got a human form of life, you don't utilize the human form of life, then it's a very unfortunate. The Lord said here. He who expecting to die, leaving his home, dwells at a sacred bathing place or dies in a place of liberation, he verily attains liberation. Okay. Here, the Lord himself mentioned these 7 places are considered very, very holy. If you leave your body in these places, Krishna himself said that you can attain moksha. If you leave your body, here is mentioned Ayodhya, Mathura, Gaya, Kashi, Benares, Kanchipuram, Kanchi, Avantika, Dwaravati. These 7 cities should be known as givers or liberation. It is mentioned here. All these places, if you leave your body, is a very holy place. If you leave your body in these places, you can attain moksha. The Lord himself says that in these words. Okay? Okay, one more thing we must understand. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it mentioned that when we leave this body, all of us, when we die, when we leave this body, there are 5 deaths will come with us also. There are 5 deaths will come along with our karma. These are 5 deaths will come with us when we leave the body. The first death is death to devas. The devas, we have the debt towards them. Okay, why we have a debt towards the devas? Because the devas give rain, they give sunshine, they give moonshine, they give oxygen. Bhuma Devi, they give earth for us to live. All these are given by the devas, but we don't pay them back. We don't pay any rent to them. Correct? We don't do that. So there is a debt. It become a debt at the end of a life. Second debt is there to the Muni and the sages. We indebted to them. Why? Because the Muni and sages, they perform thousands of tapasya, they do austerity, and they got the knowledge, and they wrote the books, the scriptures for us. They wrote Ramayana, they wrote Mahabharata, they wrote all the Vedas for us to live. So we are indebted to them. This is the second debt. Third debt is to our ancestors. Because our ancestors were alive one time, that's why we are alive now, because of them. If they didn't exist, we wouldn't exist now. So we are indebted to our ancestors. These are the third debt we carry. And the fourth is to mankind, debt to mankind. Because we can see a lot of people, they're growing agriculture, they're growing rice, and we are eating because they put so much effort to grow. And we have people who build roads, they build so many things and we are utilizing them. So many things people are doing and we are utilizing, we are enjoying the benefits. So we are indebted to them. This is the fourth debt to mankind. And the fifth debt to living entities, other living entities. For example, the worms in the soil. We have to have worm in the soil. That's why the soil will become fertile for agriculture. If there's no worm in the soil will become hardened. Nothing will grow in that soil. So we have the bee. Bee will transfer from one flower and to another flower. And that's where we got fruits. So all these living entities, they are performing some kind of activity, some kind of duties, which we are enjoying the results. So these are the five people, five debts will carry when we leave this body. Every one of us are indebted, carry these five debts. So how you have to pay back the debts to five of them? To the Devas, we have to perform yajna. We have to perform sacrifices to give our thanks to them. Through the yajna, we can pay our debts to the Devas. And how about to the Munis and the sages? The Muni and sages, you must study the Vedas and apply in our life. By doing that, we pay back the debt to the Munis and sages. And to the ancestors, how you pay back? By performing tarpana, by doing shraddha, we pay back the debt to them. And mankind, by receiving and serving gas. By serving gas, we pay back the debts to mankind. And how about the living entities? By paying our respect and offering tribute, we allow them to live. We don't cause any harm to living entities. By that, we are paying our debts to the living entities. So these are the five debts, and this is how we should pay to them. But how many of us are doing this? Maybe one, two. Most of us, we don't pay back. So this is how you should pay back the debts. So if you don't pay back the debts to them, you'll be carrying these five debts and when you leave the body. And into the next life, these five debts will come together with you to your next life. And you have to carry these debts in your next life. You have to suffer the karma. But Srimad Bhagavatam says, is impossible. Not many people can pay back these five debts. But Srimad Bhagavatam says there's one method where you can pay all the five debts. It is mentioned there. How? There in Srimad Bhagavatam, 11 Canto, chapter 5, text 41. It is mentioned here, Devrisi, Bhuktapta Nirnam Pitarnam, Nanking Karo Nayam Rini Charajan, Sarvatmana Ya Sarnam Saranyam, Gato Mukundam Parihitya Kartam. Can somebody please read for me the translation? It's a very beautiful translation. Please read for me, please.
One who has given up all material duties and taken full shelter at the lotus feet of Mukunda, who gives shelter to all, is not indebted to the demigods, great sages, ordinary living beings, relatives, friends, mankind, or even his forefathers who have passed away. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu. See, the statement from Srimad Bhagavatam. It is mentioned one who has given up all material duty and taken full shelter at the lotus feet of Mukunda, that means Lord Krishna. He says that he is not indebted to the demigod, to the deva, to the great sages, ordinary living beings, relative, friends, mankind, and even his forefathers who have passed away. See, your ancestors, your forefathers have passed away. You don't have to do Shraddha. You don't have to do Pinda offering. You don't have to. If you surrender yourself and perform bhakti towards Mukunda. This is a statement by Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a very, very important statement, very powerful statement. Please, for whatever I told you, the last 2 days, you don't have to perform, do nothing about that. You don't have to perform Pinda. You don't have to do Shraddha, nothing. You don't have to worry. You just surrender to Lord Mukunda, you do bhakti. All your debts are taken care. It is mentioned here in Bhagavatam. So please, this is the answer. This is the answer for all the questions, for all those 2 days journey of the soul towards Yamaloka. This is the solution. And in Garuda Purana, very beautifully Krishna will tell Garuda, Garuda, there are 6 people who can give you mukti, can give you moksha. Can somebody read for me, please?
The month of the 11th day, the Gita, the water of the Ganges, the liver of the holy, leaves of the holy basil, Tulusi, the foot water, and the names of Vishnu. All these are givers of freedom at the time of death.
Yes, this is the solution. This is the solution for the 2 days journey we spoke about. These 6 people can give you moksha. You don't have to worry going to Yamaloka. You go straight to Vaikuntha Loka. Vishnuduta will come and take you straight. You don't have to worry about Pinda. You don't have to worry about Masika Pinda. Nothing. Nothing to worry. You just surrender to one of these 6 people. Enough. You just surrender your life to one of these 6 people. Ekadasi, the 11th day means Ekadasi. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, among days I am Ekadasi, Krishna says. Among days I am Ekadasi, Krishna says that. That is the day where pleases Krishna. If you perform bhakti on that day, you observe accordingly, you will please the Lord and you can go back home to Vaikuntha Loka. Bhagavad Gita, right? Here it mentioned, if you read Bhagavad Gita, you can go back home to Godhead, to Vaikuntha Loka. So powerful Bhagavad Gita. That is why this month we are having the Gita Gyan. So I hope many of you who haven't gone through the 18 days course, please register yourself and go through these 18-day free courses on Bhagavad Gita. Maybe these courses will be the stepping stone for you to go back home to Vaikuntha Loka in this life. In this life, I can go back. Maybe this is a stepping stone. So please register for this Gita and learn about Bhagavad Gita, which is one of the givers of mukti. One of the 6 people can give mukti, Bhagavad Gita. And the 3rd is Ganga. And 4th, Tulusi. 5th is Vishnunam. This is Hare Krishna mantra. This Kali Yuga, this Hare Krishna mantra can give you mukti. That is why it's very, very important for you to chant Vishnu's name. And Vishnu's Charnamarta, the water which have bathed the Lord, which is called Charnamarta. All these 6 people can give you liberation. Krishna tells in Garuda at the end of Garuda Purana. So this is the solution. And all these 6, we in ISKCON, we perform bhakti. We observe Ekadasi, we read Bhagavad Gita, we drink Ganga, we go to India and bathe in Ganga. We perform Arati for Tulusi every day. We chant Hare Krishna mantra every day. And then we drink the water offered to the Lord. All these 6 we are performing. Even one of it can bring you back to to Vaikuntha Loka. So please, this is the solution. For the last 2 days, 3 days, this is the solution. Please, I request everyone, this, what Krishna said to Garuda, take it seriously. You devote yourself to at least one of the 6 here. You can go back home to Karhi. Let's see what Adi Shankaracharya said in Gita Mahatmya. In text number 1, Adi Shankaracharya said, can somebody read the translation for me, please?
One who with a regulated mind recites with devotion this Bhagavad Gita scripture, which is the bestower of all virtues, will attain to a holy abode such as Vaikuntha, the residence of Lord Vishnu, which is always free from the mundane quality based on fear and lamentation. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you very much. So this is a statement of Sripad Adi Shankaracharya. Adi Shankaracharya was the incarnation of Lord Shiva. And he himself glorified Bhagavad Gita. And he said that those who read Bhagavad Gita with devotion can easily go back to Vaikuntha Loka. Can you imagine how powerful Gita? The Muslims read Quran, the Christians they read Bible, the Hindus must read Bhagavad Gita. And just by reading Bhagavad Gita with devotion can take you back to home, to spiritual world. That is a statement of Sripad Adi Shankaracharya, the incarnation of Lord Shiva himself. So powerful. So please, every Hindu must read Bhagavad Gita, must have and read Bhagavad Gita in their life. This is a statement of Adi Shankaracharya. Next is Ekadasi. I just want to share one. There are 26 Ekadasi in a year. One of the Ekadasi is called Indra Ekadasi. This Ekadasi will come in the month of September, October. This is a statement of Krishna himself. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, then replied, this holy day is called Indra Ekadasi. If a person fasts on this day, all his sins are eradicated, and his forefathers who have fallen into hell are liberated. Can you imagine? Even your forefathers committed sin and are suffering in hell, they will be liberated. Not only they come out from the hell, they will be liberated, means they'll go back home to the spiritual world, to Vaikuntha Loka. If the benefit of observing Indra Ekadasi is offered to them by the king, by the family member. O best of the kings, one who simply hears about the sacred Ekadasi achieve the great merits earned by performing a horse sacrifice. Aswamedha Yajna, very difficult. You will get the benefit of performing Aswamedha Yajna just by observing Indra Ekadasi. Can you imagine? There was a story. There was a king. His name was Indrasena. When he was at his assembly with his ministers, all of a sudden, Lord Narada Muni appeared and he offered the seat to Lord Narada. And then he asked Narada Muni, oh my Lord, I'm very fortunate to have you here in my palace. What brought you here? King Indrasena asked Narada Muni. And Narada Muni replied, when I was coming down from Brahmaloka, I happened to visit Yamaraj in hell. Yamaraj in Yamaloka, sorry, Yamaraj is not in hell, he's in Yamaloka. So I happened to visit Yamaraj in Yamaloka. When I was there, I saw your father in hell. He was suffering in hell. I saw your father. And then your father spoke to me. He said, please go to kingdom of Maheshpati. My son is the king there. His name is Indrasena king. Please tell him that I'm suffering in hell because of sin I've committed. And ask him to observe Indra Ekadasi. and give me the merits, the punya, the benefit of observing the Indra Ekadasi to me. That will liberate me from the hellish condition. The father will then Narada, and Narada will narrate what his father, Indrasena's father, told him to King Indrasena. And after that, when Indra Ekadasi came, King Indrasena and his family members all will observe Ekadasi, Indra Ekadasi. And after the next day, when they finishes their fasting on Indra Ekadasi, he will pray to the Lord, "Oh my Lord, whatever benefits I and my family member derived by observing this Indra Ekadasi, I'll offer all the merits to my father who was suffering in hell." The moment he prayed that, he saw his father on aircraft accompanied by Vishnuruta going towards Vaikuntha Loka. And his father will bless his son. He say, "Oh my son, thank you very much. You have saved me from hellish condition of life." He will bless his son and happily he'll shower flowers and he'll go back home to spiritual world. So that is the benefit of observing. Just one Ekadasi, Indra Ekadasi, can free the father who are suffering in hellish condition of life. So this is the answer. Many devotees been asking, "Prabhu, if I forgotten how I can save my forefather, Prabhu, how I can save somebody who has committed suicide, Prabhu?" This is the answer. You observe Ekadasi and give the merit to whoever you want to give. They'll get the benefit and they can go back home to spiritual world, to Vaikuntha Loka. This is the benefit. This is the answer. The glories of Ekadasi. The next is Tulusi. From Patalakanda or Padma Purana, Lord Shiva himself will tell Narada the glories of Tulusi Devi. Lord Shiva said, "My dear Narada Muni, kindly listen now. I will relate to you the wonderful glories of Tulusi Devi. One who hears Tulusi Devi's glory will have all his sin reaction stored for many births, destroy, and very quickly attain the lotus feet of Sri Sri Radha Krishna." Can you imagine? Just by hearing the glories of Tulusi, millions of births of sins will be washed away. Just by hearing the glories of Tulusi Maharani. This was spoken by Lord Shiva himself to Narada Muni. And the best thing, another wonderful thing, Lord Shiva will tell, the leaves, flowers, roots, bark, branches, trunk, and the shade of Tulusi Devi are all spiritual. One whose dead body is burned in a fire, which has Tulusi wood as fuel, will attain the spiritual world. Even if he is the most sinful of the sinful person. Can you imagine how powerful is Tulusi? Can burn away all the sin of the most sinful person, of the sinful people. That is what said by Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva himself says in the glories of Tulusi. That is why very, very important for us to worship daily Tulusi. Can you imagine how much blessing, how much merit we're going to derive by worshipping Tulusi, by watering her? And here Lord Shiva says, even the dead person, if you burn the body with Tulusi as leaves, but dry Tulusi, don't use live or green Tulusi, you must use dry Tulusi, the branches, the twigs of a dead Tulusi, the branches, if you use as fuel to cremate, that person will go back to Vaikuntha Loka, even though he is a more sinful person. That is the words by Lord Shiva. And next is the holy name. Remember, there are 6 givers of mukti and the holy name. Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, text 5, Antikalacha mam eva. Krishna said, at the time of death, whoever remembers me, whoever chant my name, will be saved at the time of death. Whoever. So here we can see from the Pasam of Ajamila. Ajamila was a very sinful person. At the time of death, Yamaduta will come to take his soul to hell. But at that time, he'll call his son named Narayana. He named his son Narayana. He'll call his son, Narayana, please help me. Narayana, please help me. Narayana, please help me. He'll call his son. Even though he called his son in spiritual world, Lord Narayana was sleeping. Narayana heard that somebody was calling for his name. He will send Vishnuduta, you go and see, somebody are calling my name. And Vishnuduta will come and stop the Yamaduta to take Ajamila to hell. Yamaduta will tell, who are you to stop us? This person is a very sinful person. He is meant to go to hell. And Vishnuduta will say, yes, he is a very sinful person, but he has called the name of Narayana at the time of death. All his sins are burned away. All his sins are washed away. He will go back to spiritual world. And eventually Ajamila went to Vaikuntha Loka. So here you see, Krishna says 6 people can give you mukti, the holy name. That is why very important, all of you must start to chant this Hare Krishna mantra. Because at the time of death, you can chant the Lord's name. Start practicing now, you can chant Lord's name at the time of death and go back home to spiritual world. And Lord Shiva told Parvati Devi, you know what Lord Shiva said? Sri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manu Rame Sahasra Nama Tatulyam Rama Nama Varanani. Oh lovely Parvati, I chant the holy name of Rama 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 and thus constantly enjoy this beautiful sound. This holy name of Ramachandra is equal to 1000 holy names of Lord Vishnu. Lord Shiva says this in Garuda Purana. One name of Lord Ram is equivalent to 1000 names of Vishnu. Can you imagine? So this Hare Krishna mantra, so many names of Lord Ram, can you imagine how powerful this Hare Krishna mantra? Very, very powerful. Even Lord Shiva chant the name of Lord Ram. It is mentioned here. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, chapter 8, text 6, Krishna says, whatever state of being one remembers, when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. At the time of death, whatever we remember, we'll get in the next life. So very, very important. That is why you have to remember, think of God at the time of death, and you will go back to the spiritual world. And Krishna said in chapter 8, text 5, and whoever at the time of death quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my abode. See, if you remember Krishna at the time of death, you can go back home to the spiritual world. In chapter 18, text 66, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Sarvadharam Parayagya, Mamekam Saranam Raja, Aham Tuam Sarva Pabibhyo, Moksha Isami Mahasacha. Krishna said, abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Krishna says that. I will burn away all your sinful reactions. Just surrender unto me. I'll burn away everything. And I give you moksha. Moksha is a mahasacha. I give you mukti. Krishna says, just surrender unto me. So this is the answer for the 2-day, 3-day journey of the soul towards Yamaloka and all the suffering. This is the answer. So I hope everyone, please take up bhakti seriously, and all of you will go back home to the spiritual world at this life itself. And Krishna came in Kali Yuga. He came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a golden avatar and gave us this Hare Krishna mantra. He gave us this mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna came in the form of his devotee Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and gave us this mantra. In this age of Kali, this is the mantra which can take us back to spiritual world. And by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, 50 years ago, who went to America.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So I'm going to end the presentation today. A wonderful statement by Yamaraj himself. Yamaraj himself in Srimad Bhagavatam 6th Canto, chapter 3, text 27. Can somebody please read for me?
My dear servants, please do not approach such devotees, for they have fully surrendered to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are equal to everyone, and their narrations are sung by the demigods and the inhabitants of Siddhaloka. Please do not even go near them. They are always protected by the club of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore Lord Brahma and I and even the time factor are not competent to chastise them. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mataji. This is the statement by Yamaraj. The Yamaduta, after they fail to take the soul of Ajamila, they will come back to Yamaraj and complain to Yamaraj. Oh my Lord, you asked us to go and take the soul of Yajamila towards hell, but we were stopped by Vishnuduta because he chanted, who are they? Who is your Lord? And this is the answer given by Yamaraj. Don't go near the devotees. Don't go. Please do not even go near them. That is the answer to Yamaduta. So that means for the devotee, Yamaduta will never come. Vishnuduta will come. So that is why we have to become devotee in this life. Yamadutas will never come towards near us. Can somebody read this?
Ramahamsas are exalted persons who have no taste for material enjoyment and who drink the honey of the Lord's lotus feet. My dear servants, bring to me for punishment only persons who are averse to the taste of that honey, who do not associate with Paramahamsas and who are attached to family life and worldly enjoyment, which form the path to hell. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is answer by Yamaraj. Don't bring to me devotee, don't even go near them. Okay, but who you should bring? Those who are attached to family members, those who are sinful, who are worldly enjoyment. I'm bringing these people. Those who don't chant the holy name, bring these people to me. That is what he answered by Yamaraj to Yamaduta. Can somebody please read to me, please?
My dear servants, please bring me.
Sorry,
somebody can read.
Bring to me only those sinful persons who do not use their tongues to chant the holy name and qualities of Krishna, whose heart do not remember the lotus feet of Krishna even once, and whose heads do not bow down even once before Lord Krishna. Send me those who do not perform their duties towards Vishnu, which are the only duties in human life. Please bring me all such fools and rascals.
This is what Yamaraj will tell Yamadutas. These are the people you should bring to me, not the devotees. Don't even go near to the devotee. This is the answer. Okay, at the time of that, we have an option. Either Yamaduta will come or Vishnuduta will come. If Yamaduta will come, they will take us to Yamaloka. If Vishnudutas come, we are very fortunate. We have perfected our human form of life because we are going back to Vaikuntha Loka. Okay, I'll end with quiz. Who are the 4 people who will become ghosts after death? Anybody can answer?
Those who suicide,
Who is that?
violent death,
Okay.
commit suicide,
Okay.
violent death,
Okay.
attached to family, material, money, lived a sinful life.
Yes, thank you very much, Mataji. You are correct. Okay. Sinful life, suicide, attached to worldly, violent death. These 4 type people become ghosts. Okay, next question. Who are the 6 givers of mukti mentioned in Garuda Purana?
Ekadasi,
Yes.
Bhagavad Gita,
Yes.
Ganga, Tulusi, Vishnu Nama, Vishnu Charanamarta.
Thank you very much. You got correctly, perfectly got the answer. Thank you very much. So, Ekadasi, Gita, Tulsi, Ganga, Vishnu Snam, and Vishnu Charamata. So, please, all devotees, please, at least one, you have to dedicate your life in this life and go back home. They can give you mukti. Okay? Next question. How Lord Vishnu eats? Through 2 ways. What is that?
Yajna and Brahmana.
Yeah, through yajna and through brahmanas. What are the items to donate to priests on Karmadi ceremony? There are 7 items mentioned. What are they?
Umbrella,
Yes.
shoes,
Yes.
clothes ring,
Yes.
water jar, stool, vessel.
Thank you very much, Mataji. You got correct. These are the dakshana we have to give to the priest on Karmadi day. Okay, thank you very much. That's end our 3rd day journey of the soul to after that. Okay, after this, we're going to have a question answer session. Okay, please stay back and you have any question you can ask. Maybe until 10:30 or 11, we can stretch our day to day. And please don't forget, this month we're going to have Gita Gyan free courses. Please register and understand a little bit basic of Bhagavad Gita. And like I said, it's going to be a stepping stone and going to lead you back home to spiritual world at the end of this life. Take it seriously. You have this opportunity to register. And the 6 givers of Bhakti Mukti, please surrender and dedicate yourself so that we don't have to go to Yamaloka, but we can go back to spiritual world. Part 2 coming very soon. Please I'll be sharing the part 2 of the show. Thank you very much. Okay, before we go to question answer session, there was a question yesterday, and many of you may be interested to know if you don't have a son to perform the final rites, who else can perform? So I was doing some research on the internet today morning. So I came across this book a wonderful book, but this information need to be confirmed, okay, whether it's bona fide or not. I'm just sharing with you, okay, I just got this information. I also need to confirm if it's reliable or not, but it's a very detailed answer given. If somebody don't have a son, who else can perform the kriya, the ceremony? Okay, it's given here. First is your own son. If you have a son, he can do the ceremony. If you don't have your son's son, that means your grandson can do. If you don't have grandson, who are the third in the hierarchy is your grandson's son. Your grandson's son. Fourth is your adopted son. Fifth is a son of your adopted son. Sixth is a son who has been given away to others in adoption. Seven is Dauhitra, daughter's son who will inherit property. If there's no son, but if your daughter, the daughter's son can perform the final rites. And eight is the daughter. Dauhitra in general, any daughters can do. Nine, wife in the case of a dead husband, and husband in the case of a dead wife. Even wife can do the final rite for her husband. And 10 is a daughter. So it's given here. So this is a hierarchy. Even daughter can perform final rites. And the list go on, okay, until it's a very detailed. And finally, let's say there's nobody, even friend can perform the final rites. It's mentioned here. Okay, even friend can perform. So this is the hierarchy. So like I say, I'm just sharing this knowledge. I just got to know this knowledge today morning. Yes, I want to share with you, but this information needs to be confirmed. Please confirm before you apply the information. I also like to confirm this information, but I saw this a very detailed. I never seen anybody given up to 31 in the hierarchy who can perform the final rites. Okay, thank you very much. Now we open for question and answer session.
So let me share the screen. Okay, bro, can you see my screen now, bro?
In process. Yes, I can see now.
Okay, so yesterday we stopped at 30, so now we're starting at 31 question now. So Hare Krishna, can please give contact number of the priest who does the Mahalaya Adi Amavasya prayers?
Oh yes, thank you. So his name is Nrsimha Prabhu. He stays in Penang. He's a Brahmana. He has been doing this all these funeral ceremony Mahalaya for many years. He's very expert. And I'll give the information, the contact number to Padmanitra Prabhu. And whoever, please contact, I'll give it tomorrow, by tomorrow. And you can contact him and get the contact number of the priest. Okay? Padmanitra Prabhu, you remind me, Prabhu, by tomorrow I'll give you.
Okay, bro. So next question. Even if there are males in the family, can the females offer pinda for the deceased?
Yeah, pinda offering female can do. Okay, never mentioned that pindam offering female daughter cannot do. It's mentioned wife, daughter, they can do. Okay, even friends can offer pindam. Even friends can offer. Okay, so the answer is yes. Anybody can do pinda offering.
Okay, next question. Hare Krishna Prabhu, can we serve pindam with Tulusi which we offered to Krishna? Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, you can serve. Okay. When you offer to Krishna the Prasadam, become Mahaprasad with Tulusi, you can offer to the dead person. In fact, it is better because they're gonna get the Mahaprasad Tulusi. Can you imagine how much benefit the dead person gonna get when you offer Tulusi to them? So definitely can offer Tulusi. But the Tulusi must be offered to Krishna first, okay? As Prasad. Yes, Prabhu. Next question.
Prabhu, just to make announcement again. So like we mentioned earlier, we have disabled the chat. So you can't send your questions through the chat because we have another 15 or 20 questions piled up. So once this question is all answered, then we'll open the session for anyone to ask question from the floor. Okay. So next row, what will happen to the soul like MH370 case?
So, see, the souls, the body disappeared. Okay, the kings, the family members, didn't get the body to even do the funeral and all that. It's very unfortunate. But there is a clause, Prabhu, in Garuda Purana himself mentioned that if you are unable to have the body to perform funerals, there are some special rites you can do for those who have died, but the body is not available. So, and then you can offer pindam per normal, and also the masika pinda as per normal. Okay, it is mentioned. There are some special rights for those the body is not available to perform the final. There are, you can do that. There are clauses to do that.
Okay, thanks, bro. So next question, who can prepare the pindam?
The pindam, anybody can prepare the pindam, the family member, the friends, anybody. So there's no any restriction there. Only family members can prepare the pindam. Anybody, it mentioned, just prepare. He never mentioned that who to prepare. He said just prepare and offer. That's all. That means anybody can prepare the pindam. Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah, okay, bro. Next question. 13th day soul leave. Then why people do karmadi on the 30th day?
On the 30th day, it's not karma.
Bro, sorry, you're mute. Bro. Sorry.
Okay, bro.
Sorry.
So we do 30th, Nupada, 30, that is not karmadi. Okay, that is a 30th day ceremony we do. Okay, it's not karmadi. Karmadi usually they do on the 14th, some do on 11th. Okay, so on the 30th, that's not karmadi. It's a 30th day ceremony we do. So it's not karmadi actually. Okay, Prabhu.
Okay, bro. What happened to the soul devotees who followed Ekadasi fasting? They also go through the same punishment. Hare Krishna.
See, I've mentioned that you here even just now I said from Bhagavatam where Yamaraj told Yamaduta that you don't approach, don't even go near devotees. So that means devotee won't go to Yamaloka. Devotee Vishnuduta will come and take them back to Vaikuntha Loka. Okay? So Vishnuduta will come and take them to Vaikuntha Loka. So the devotees, if they're devotee, if they are sincere devotee, they won't go to Yamaloka. Yamaduta will never come. Only Vishnuduta will take them back to spiritual world. Okay, Prabhu.
Okay, bro. Next question. Can we remove our sins when we bathe in Kashi?
Yeah, it is mentioned, remember, in Garuda Purana itself, it mentioned that Kashi is one of the 70 cities which can give liberation. Correct? It is mentioned in Garuda Purana. Krishna himself told Garuda, 70 cities, one of it, Kashi, Benares, is a giver of liberation. I mean, who leave the body? So definitely, if you take bath in Kashi, there are tremendous merits, benefit, and you can burn away your sin. Yeah, it is mentioned in your scripture. Yeah, so the answer is yes, Prabhu.
Okay, thanks, bro. Next question, Hare Krishna. About karma, is special children considered as karma? If a child is born as special need child, autism, Down syndrome, etc., the karma is actually done by the parents or by the child.
So, okay, this question is very sensitive, because when I give the answer, I didn't mean to condemn or criticize the children who are born handicapped or they're born with, they need special, they consider special child, correct? So it's not that I'm condemning, they are child, okay? And they are pure child. They don't commit sins, okay? Those who are mentally retarded and those who are, with the special syndrome, Down syndrome, they are considered special soul. They're pure soul. They don't commit sins. Their body are pure actually, even though they're born handicapped, but they are pure souls. But of course, it is mentioned in the scripture that whatever karma, whatever life we got in this life is because of previous karma. Correct? Yesterday I told the story of how Dasharath Mannar will lose the 100 son because the karma, the sin he committed 50 birth ago, committed, and he got the punishment in this life. He lost 100 child and he was born blind for that. That is mentioned in the scripture. Okay, even when you read Garuda Purana, those sins will be, they'll be born. Remember, just now I was reading, they will be born in an unmoving object like a tree, like a mountain, correct? So all these are the sin we are paying, the karma we are paying. So for the soul to be born in such condition, definitely it is because of the previous karma. Yeah, it is mentioned that because of the previous karma, they have to be born as such. So the karma is both the parents and the children. The parents have done the karma because they have to see the child. They have to go through the suffering also. They have to go through suffering. It's so much painful for the parent to see the child having this kind of condition. So that is the karma of the parents. Some sin they have done in previous life. Okay, and same thing for the child. Also some kind of karma, some kind of sin done in previous life. Because of the karma, they were born like that. But even though they're born like that, they will go back in this life. This life they can go back. There's an opportunity they can go back this life, go back home to spiritual world. Because these children, they will never commit sin in this life. A Down syndrome children, a mentally retarded children will never commit sin like us. So there's no any karmic reaction in the life. So they will lead a pure life. They just pay off the karma, but they lead a pure life. And there's a potential, they can go back home to spiritual life. In this life, they can go back. So it's the duty of the parents. Please give at least bhakti to your children. Give them prasad. You feed them prasadam. You at least, we put vibhuti, tilak. At least you bring up your children in devotion. That will take them back home to spiritual life. In the end of the life, they can go back. So that's the duty of the parents. Okay. So to have this kind of special children is a boon because they will go back. They can easily go back home to spiritual world. If they go back to spiritual world, the parents will go back. 7 generations before, 7 generations after will go back. But the parents will go back to the spiritual world if the children have gone back to the spiritual world. So it's the duty of parents. Please bring up your children in bhakti. If you have such a children, please bring up them in bhakti. They can go back home to the spiritual world. Okay, Prabhu. Next question.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Next question, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can you please elaborate the calculation of the days? For a person passed away on Monday, the 1st of December, and the funeral takes place on the following day. So the first day of the Pindam start after the cremation or earlier?
You see, this answer, the perfect situation, even in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that if a person dies before sunset, the body has to be cremated before sunset. If the person dies before sunrise, okay, early morning, let's say in Malaysia, sun rises probably at 6:45. if the person die 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning, so Bhagavatam says the best is to perform the cremation before the sun rise, before 6:45. That's what Bhagavatam says. And if the person dies after sunrise, if the person dies 10 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the cremation has to be performed before sunset. That's what Bhagavatam says. Okay? That's what Bhagavatam says. But of course, current situation, sometimes we have the daughters staying far away. The daughter will take 1 day to come. Today is a death, tomorrow they do the funeral. Okay, all these are happening. But I'm just telling you the perfect situation mentioned by Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, the first day, let's say they died today, and tomorrow you cremate. So after the cremation, so tomorrow will be considered the first day. If they die today, tomorrow's cremation, tomorrow will be the first day. So that's what I understood. So from there, you start Pinda for 10 days. You can't offer Pindam until the body is cremated. You can't offer. You only can offer Pindam after the body is cremated. Okay, that's what I understood. Okay, Prabhu. Next question, Prabhu.
Beside the, does the Garuda Purana says anything about keeping the Predam, the body, overnight and carrying out the final rites the next day, or should it be done on the same day? Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, this is what I answered just now. Same thing mentioned Garuda Purana Bhagavatam that if the person dies before sun rises, the cremation had to be done before the sunrise. And if the person dies after sunrise, then the cremation has to be performed before sunset. That's what mentioned. That's the perfect condition. But of course, there are time plus circumstances. Of course, now there are so many adjustments. But what I told you is what mentioned Garuda Purana as well as Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, Prabhu.
Prabhu, next question. Prabhu, I heard from other Prabhu that each day one pinda, but Prabhu said first day one pinda, second day two pinda, and so on. Please explain.
Yeah. See, this I've seen, like I said, I've seen that people offer first day one pinda, second day two pinda, third day three pinda. I also have seen people offer one pinda every day, just one pinda. So to answer your question, I think we can accept both. Okay, I confirm with another friend. My friend told me that even in Sri Sampradaya and Madhava Sampradaya, also they perform like that. First day one pinda, second day two pinda, third day three pinda. Even Sri Sampradaya and Madhava Chari Sampradaya also follow this. Like I said, I've seen people offer one pinda every day for the 10 days. So my answer is that we can accept both, because I cannot say what they are doing is wrong, because I've read that also, that also doable. So at this point, I can say that we accept that even you offer one pinda every day is acceptable. If you offer one, two pinda, three pinda, is acceptable. Okay. Next question, Prabhu.
If the family has sons, but the sons don't believe in Amavasya or Shraddha, can the daughter in the family do it? Also, where will the soul go during Amavasya? The house in the left of the body, or the house of the son are currently living?
You see, so that is the duty of every parent. Every parents have a duty to teach their children, to teach their son, the children. They have to teach. They have to give the spiritual knowledge. This is what will happen. The parents fail to perform their duty as parents. Their duty is that they have to teach their children. Otherwise, this is what will happen. The son will never believe, the son will never do, and the parent will suffer as it goes. They will suffer. That is a karma. You fail to teach your children, that is the karma you will suffer. Yes. So that is the duty of every parent to teach. You give them method knowledge, fine. The university, they become a doctor, engineers. Yes, to live in this world, we have to study. But at the same time, give them the spiritual knowledge. Because after you die, method knowledge will never help you. Only spiritual knowledge, spiritual punya, mari will help you. Yamaraj, when you stand in front of Yamaraj, Yamaraj will never ask you what degree you got, what university you went, what job you perform, what is your pay. Yamaraj will never ask that. Yamaraj will ask, how many times you chant the name of Hari? How many times you went to the temple of Hari? How many times you have read Gita? How many times you have did dana? How many times you have given charity? That is what question Yamaraj will ask you. So as a parent, you have to perform this. At the same time, yes, we are living in this world, we have the material knowledge, we have to work, yes. But at the same time, it's your parents' duty to teach your children on the spiritual knowledge. If not, this is what will happen and you have to suffer. So of course, the son don't want to do Amma, the daughters can do. Anybody in the house can do, even friends can do. Okay, even friends can offer pindam. Amma Vasa, Masika pindam, even friends can do. Okay, he never mentioned only the son have to do. Of course, the son is there, the best thing the son can perform it, because that is the duty of the son. As Putra, the son has to do all these, but if the son refuses to do, the daughters can do, or any family members can do, or even friends can do. Okay? And then, what is the next thing, Prabhu? Doing the house. Okay. It is mentioned, I told you many times, if you have performed the funeral rites, the 10-day pinda offering, the karmadi, everything, masika pindam, everything has been done properly, the soul will depart on 13th day and to the journey of Yamaraj. The soul won't wander on earth as ghosts because you have performed. I even told you the story of King Suyagya yesterday. Remember the story from Bhagavatam where the wife refused to do the cremation. Suyagya was wandering as a ghost until Yamaraj had to come as a Brahmana boy and tell them, and that's where they did the cremation. Remember, I told the story from Bhagavatam. So if you have done all these, you don't have to offer on Amavasa. If you never done properly, you have some doubt, then you can offer on Amavasya day. The soul will come. Of course, the best is the house where the soul departed. The family members have to do. That's the best thing. If not, others can do. The soul will go and take. The soul know where the Shraddha, the food is being offered. The soul will go and eat. So he never mentioned that. I never read that only the house where the soul departed, only that house must offer Amavasa, Prashad on Amavasa. Only that house the soul will come. If other houses offered on Amavasa, the soul cannot go. I never read that. So I can't comment. So my understanding is that whoever the relatives also offer food on Amavasya, the soul will go and take. But the best is the children, the wives, they must offer because the soul will be hankering that my wife will do, that my children will do. The soul will be hankering. So the best is the house of the wives and children, or you can have relatives or friends also can do. You mentioned even friend can offer an amount. Okay? Okay, Prabhu, next question.
For passing veterinary river, we must have done charities. So is rescuing animals, helping strays, feeding strays animal is considered as charity?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. By helping the poor children, the animals, definitely you can derive a lot of merit. So it's considered charity by feeding and helping. Definitely. It's a merit. It's considered as punya. Okay. But Garuda Purana especially mentioned Go Puja. It especially mentioned charity dana for the cows. It mentioned that. Go, cow is mentioned there. Okay, and also mention other charities. Yes, I charity, yes, like what you mentioned here, but the best is for the cows, is mentioned there. Okay, next question, Prabhu.
Thanks, Prabhu. Prabhu, people of other faiths don't perform pinda. Is Garuda Purana only applicable to Hindus?
Yeah, this is a very good question. Okay, so I've listened one class, one lecture. Okay, in the lecture, the devotee will tell there's only one law after you die, the law of Yamaraja. So he mentioned that whether you're Muslim, you're Christian, you're Hindu, or any other religion, there's only one law after you die. And that is the law of Yamaraj, as mentioned in Garuda Purana. So he never mentioned, Garuda Purana never mentioned, Krishna never say, oh Garuda, I'm going to speak you, Garuda Purana. It is meant only for the Hindus. It's only men. And for my devotee, Krishna never said that. So it's meant for everyone, regardless of the religion, of the race, caste, everyone. So there's only one Yamaraj for everyone. There's only one hell for all the planetary system. So the law applicable for everyone. So my answer is that Garuda Purana is meant for everyone, not only for the Hindus.
Prabhu, I heard only pinda will be taken by subtle body, but Prabhu said the subtle body will eat vegetarian food. Please explain.
So here it is mentioned, when I read that for the first 10 days, okay, the soul with the subtle body, they will take the pinda for the first 10 days. Okay, and then we understood for the first day, the head will be formed, second day, neck, or eventually after 10 days of eating the pinda and using half of the pinda to build the body, the pinda and sarira, remember? I was explaining yesterday. So the body will get a body which is called pindam sarira after 10 days. And the size will be the size of an arm, remember? I told that, okay? The size will be, okay, this the subtle body of so that person will be the size of an arm, okay? And it is mentioned that after 10 days, the preta will experience tremendous hunger and thirst. It is mentioned there. The preta will experience tremendous hunger and thirst. And it is mentioned on 11th and 12th day, the preta will eat sumptuously. It is mentioned there. But on 11th and 12th day, it never mentioned we should not offer pinda on 11th, 12th. We only offer pinda for the 10 days. After 10 days, it is mentioned you offer food, the preta will eat. It is mentioned there. So when you offer vegetarian food, the preta will eat on 11th and 12th day. And karmadi will eat. Yeah, it's mentioned in Garuda Purana. Okay, so it never mentioned that the soul will eat pinda on 11th, 12th day. Pinda is only for the 10 days. So we have to understand that. So on 11th, 12th, you offer a vegetarian food, the soul will eat. That is what mentioned in Garuda Purana. So we understood that way. That soul can eat on 11th, 12th day, they eat the vegetarian food you offer. So that's how we understood. Okay, Prabhu.
Who wrote the Garuda Purana?
Vyasa Muni. Vyasadeva wrote Garuda Purana. Remember, he wrote the 18th Purana. He will narrate, and Vinayaka Perumal, Lord Ganesh, will write. Vyasa Muni will narrate the 18 Puranas, and one of his Garuda Purana, and Lord Ganesh will write. Okay, so it was spoken of by Vyasadeva and written down in thanks by Lord Ganesh. Okay, Prabhu.
Next question. Prabhu, during this COVID pandemic, if the person dies of COVID, how could the family perform the ritual?
Yeah, if a person have a COVID, it's very, very pathetic because I've seen how some people, some Hindus died of COVID. The child, I was told that only 5 members are allowed to be there, and and the son will perform the rites. So it's very, very pathetic. It's very, very pathetic situation. Okay, you can chant, you can't place Tulusi in the mouth. So it's a very, very pathetic situation. So my advice is that please follow all the SOP strictly. Please, the social distancing, wear mask. Please protect yourself. Please, I recommend, please take the vaccine. Okay, please protect. Because if you die by because of COVID, it's very pathetic. I'm telling you, it's very, very pathetic. So I'm sad to see. But of course, they allow certain level of funeral rites to be performed. The government still allow. So anyway, it's very pathetic. Yeah, sorry for them actually.
Next question, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. The first day Pinda start from the day of death, or is it start from the day of funeral hell?
See, I've told you the perfect condition, correct? I told you when the funeral cremation be done before sunrise, the sun. That is a perfect condition by Bhagavatam and Garuda Purana. Okay, but of course there are time plus circumstances, so many factors. Sometimes the cremation done, but after 2 days, 3 days of the death. Sometimes they have to wait the child from overseas. It will take 3 days to come. Only after 3 days they do cremation. So actually it is wrong. Okay. So the perfect condition is that, like what I said. But the pindam can only start after the cremation. So we are stuck with a very difficult situation. Okay. We can't offer the pindam until the cremation is done. Sometimes cremation 2 days, 3 days. So it's very, very difficult. So I can't comment on that actually. But I gave you the perfect condition how it should be done. But as a rule of thumb, generally what we do, immediately after the cremation, the house has been cleaned, you put the picture, you do the first offering, that is the first pinda, you offer the first pinda. When you come back from cremation, you do the prayers and you offer, that will be the first pinda. So generally we'll take that. It may not be the perfect situation, but it's very, very difficult to give an answer, because there are so many factors are involved. So the best thing is that we can consult senior person, a priest, a temple priest, this kind of situation. If you have guru, senior devotee who are expert in this, there are priests who are expert, you can consult them. In this kind of situation, what should I do? So it's very difficult for me to give the answer because there are so many factors involved. But I just told you the perfect condition mentioned in Bhagavatam and Garuda Purana. Bhagavatam clearly says that if the person dies before sunrise, the funeral has to be done, cremation has to be done before sunrise. If the person dies after sunrise, before sunset, the cremation has to be on that same day. That's what Bhagavatam says. That is a perfect condition. Okay? Thank you, Prabhu.
Thanks, bro. Next question, Hare Krishna. What does dreaming the departed soul mean?
See, it is mentioned, when I read, it is mentioned that the soul sometimes will come in a dream of the loved one. They will come sometimes in the dream. It is mentioned, it is a fact. Sometimes the dead person will come in the dream. Yeah, it's a fact, it's true. So I remember there's one person who have died. The wife didn't do properly the pinda offering, all that, and the dead husband came in the dream of the wife and told that you must offer pinda offering, or you must do. So the wife did the pindam of funeral. I mean, some rites. She went to India and she performed. She got expert priest to do. And after that, the husband's soul didn't come back in a dream again. So the husband's soul had departed. She stopped having a dream of her husband after she performed the rites again, some pinda offering, all that. So it is mentioned, it's true. Sometimes the dead person will come in a dream. Yeah, it's true. Okay, Prabhu, next question.
Okay, bro. Do we keep doing Shraddha throughout our life until we ourselves die?
I asked this question to Bhakti Mukunda Swami Maharaj. He said, for 12 years you have to do Shraddha, yearly Shraddha. There was some yearly Shraddha. He said you have to do maximum for 12 years. After that you can stop. Maharaj said that. Okay? So I'll tell my answer is 12 years. Do for maximum 12 years.
Okay, bro. In a family, one son do the prayers for the soul, or have to do it every year. If no sons, daughter can do the prayers for the soul.
Yeah, definitely. Not all. Only one in a family is enough. Okay. Only, let's say there are 5, 6 sons, children. Only one son or children can do. Enough. Suffice. Not all. Only one. Okay. If there's no son, the daughter can do like a Amavasya, like there was a Masika Pita. Yeah, the daughters can do, the wife can do, the daughters can do. It is mentioned that. Okay. The Shraddha, not necessarily the son. The son is there, the son can do. The son is not there, the Shraddha, the daughters or the wife, yeah, like I say, even friends can do. Okay, Prabhu.
Okay, bro. Next question. Hi, Prabhu. What are your thoughts on astral projection? Many people do so while sleeping without being aware of their ability to do so. Is it dangerous?
Yeah, this astral projection is something like out of body. Okay, the soul comes out from the body and they can control. Okay, they can wander out of the body. This part I'll be covering in my part 2. Okay, part 2, Journey of the Soul, I'll be covering out of the body experience. There's a pastime of Adi Shankaracharya. Even Adi Shankaracharya, soul came out from the body, okay, for 1 year. Okay, that's a pastime. Maybe I'll be covering that in the part 2 on that. So it's true, it's a fact, but it's very, very dangerous. It has to be done under a guru, under the guidance. You can't do that on your own. But sometimes, once your soul comes up from the body, the soul cannot return. You don't know how to come back. Then you're considered dead. Okay? And then sometimes you come out, the soul come out to the subtle realm. You can see so many subtle forms, ghost, spirit, everything, and you get frightened. So many things can happen. So it's not advisable. Actually, it's not advisable to do it alone unless you're expert under the guidance of some guru or something. Okay, Prabhu.
Okay, every year, Shraddha will do on their Tithi, but some are doing on the dead day. Is there any difference?
So on the death day is an English calendar. I understood the question. The death day means English calendar. You have to do on the Tithi. Okay? You have to go to temple. Pujari will tell you the 12 days, 12-month Tithi. The yearly Tithi, they can tell you. Okay? So you have to do the Shraddha, the Devasam on the Tithi, not the English calendar day. Okay? Okay, Prabhu?
Okay, bro. Next question. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Is it true that ancestors are visiting us as crow when they visit to eat the offered pindas?
So possibility is there. It is mentioned that they can come in the form of animals. Okay, it is mentioned. Sometimes they will take the form of animals. Yeah, it's true. I've read that. So the possibility is there. They can come in the form of crow or any other animals. Yeah, the possibility is there. Yeah, it's true. The answer is yes. But not only crow, they could take any other forms. Okay?
If there is no one for the female deceased initiated devotee who does not have any family member and relative, then who can do?
This do what? Is it the funeral rites or Shraddha or Masika Amavasa? What they mean? I think they mean by the funeral rites, is it?
I think so, bro.
Is the funeral rites. Okay. I showed just now the table, correct? If the son, no son, then the son, the grandson, then if no grandson, the grandson, son, remember? I showed that. So you can follow that hierarchy. There's no son, then follow the hierarchy. Even mentioned author can do. Okay? I hope everybody has seen that table and have understood that if you don't have son, then follow the hierarchy. Okay, Prabhu?
Hey, bro. Also, what if someone else does the final rites beside family members because you are overseas during the pandemic, for example? Thank you.
See, Prabhu, first you have to understand, I mentioned that there are the perfect situation the son, the family member do. Under the circumstances, the family members are unavailable, then others can do, the other family member, relative, the friends. Yeah. See, Yamaraj and the Lord, they are not rigid with their rules. They are Lord, they are Devas, okay? They are not rigid with their rules. Okay, they also will consider time plus circumstances. They are very compassionate. Okay, please understand that. So we don't engross too much to the rituals. The rituals also can be changed according to the time, place, circumstances. That's what Bhagavatam says. So the answer is that don't too much engross to the rigid of the ritual. Oh, like they only like this. Okay. Of course, time, place, circumstances. That is why we need guru in our life. So we can consult our guru. Guru will tell in this situation what to be done. Or senior devotee, we should consult them. There's no harm. Please consult them. Okay, what is the best thing to do? I can give you one example. In India itself, you go to South India, they will do different kind of rituals. For the death funeral, their style will be a little different. And you compare to the Northern Indian, with Southern Indian, Northern Indian will be so much difference. You take Kerala, you take Andhra Pradesh, there will be so much difference. Then you compare to West Bengal, the Hindus there will do differently. Even within India, so you talk about north, south, west, east are different according to the time and circumstances. Okay, my answer is that of course, please consult the high authority, the priest, the guru. Please consult them. They can advise you what to do in such situation. Because I said the rules can be changed according to time, place, circumstances. Lord and Yamaraj, they are very compassionate. Okay, they are not rigid. Okay, that's my answer, Prabhu. Can we move?
Yeah, next question. Hare Krishna Prabhu. How a man from homicide can reach spiritual?
See, homicide here means he been killed, is it? He been killed.
I think so, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like I said that at the end of the day, who knows, who holds the final decision is the Lord and Yamaraj. Okay, the Lord is the one who holds the final decision. If under the category of homicide, if the Lord want to take the soul back home, Lord will take. If the Lord want the soul to rebirth, take birth again, yes, they'll take rebirth again. If Lord want him to go to Yamaloka and go to hell, he will go to hell. So the Lord holds the final decision. He's a decision maker. But of course, there are rules laid out by the Lord. Okay, under these circumstances, what will happen? The fourth of people, those who commit suicide, those who are sinful, they'll become ghosts. Yeah, you mentioned that in the scripture. Okay. So at the end of the day, I won't be able to tell this person go to the spiritual world. I won't be able to tell that. Okay. Only Lord will tell. But of course, He has given us some law in His scripture. So we'll follow the scripture. Okay. But if the person is a devotee, okay, devotee, and he has devoted his life throughout his life to the Lord. At the end of life, the Lord said, Untitled Chapter, if the devotee thought of Krishna, then the devotee will go back, even though he's a homicide. Correct? So it depends on the consciousness at the time of death. Okay. Even somebody can be devotee for whole life, but at the end of life, he thought of something else. He never think of Krishna or God. He'll never go back to the spiritual world. So it depends on the consciousness at the time of death. Krishna said correct in Bhagavad Gita, Yam Yam Apis Varam Bhavam Tejati Ante Kalavaram Tamta Evaiti Kamtiya Saratan Bhav Bhavitaha. Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, he said, whatever you think, whatever state you have at the time of death, whatever consciousness or state, that state you'll get in your next life without fail, Krishna said. Okay? So at the end of the day, it still depends on the consciousness, on what we think at the time of death. That is why devotees we chant every day. We chant every day. We perform Tulusi Puja, we offer prasad. Why? Because we can develop the consciousness or devotion in ourselves so that at the time of death, we can easily remember God and go back home. So it all depends on the consciousness at the time of death. Okay? Next question, Prabhu.
So, all right, we're supposed to start counting the number of days from the first day of death.
That is why I told just now, I hope I already answered, correct? The perfect condition is, okay, I already answered just now.
Yes. Okay, next question. Hare Krishna Prabhu, where can I buy this Garuda Purana? The correct version. Is it a lot to know? Who is the author and how much?
See, if you ask me, I don't recommend you to read Garuda Purana, okay? Mandasati wrong, okay? So I don't recommend. Read Bhagavad Gita, read Bhagavatam. That these two scriptures can take you back home to God. Garuda Purana cannot take you back to God. Okay? Cannot take you. But in Garuda Purana itself mentioned that Gita can take you back. Remember the six givers of mukti. In Garuda Purana mentioned that Gita can take you back. So please read Bhagavad Gita. So please enroll yourself for the Gita again this month, 18 days, and that will be the beginning of you to go back home to God. Okay? Hare Krishna.
Okay, next question. For how many years annual Tithi Tavasam to be observed for the departed?
12 years, like what I mentioned, maximum 12 years. This is what the answer I got from Bhakti Maharaj. Okay?
Right. Once offered Pindam was advised to throw into the river. Is that right?
Okay, once Pindam, like I said, the best is offered, the remnant offered to crow. If you can't find crow, you please let other animals to eat, cow, goat, chicken, fishes, ants. You let them eat, okay? If you can't find any animals, yes, you can throw in a river, at least the fishes can eat. Okay? Next, Prabhu.
Yeah, okay, bro. Why must a ring be given to the priest at the Karmati?
Okay, so I wondered also. So I did a research in Garuda Purana. Actually, why the ring must be given, you know? So unfortunately, I couldn't find the answer. So I was wondering why ring must be given. Okay, so I won't be able to answer. I don't want to speculate because I myself was finding the answer why ring must be given. What it helped, how it helped the dead person. Definitely it helped, but how? So I don't have the answer. But if I have the answer, definitely I will share with you in part 2. Okay? That's my answer, bro.
Yeah, thanks, bro. So now we can open to everyone. Whoever wants to
We have
ask
time to
question, you
meet
can raise their hand.
11 o'clock, so we can end the session at 11 o'clock. So we'll open the question. Anybody have question, you can unmute and ask verbally.
Can I ask, Prabhu?
Yeah.
I have a few. Or shall I ask you later? I'll give other people opportunity first.
I should ask you question.
Prabhu, can I ask
Yes.
one question, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Let's say we pray Ekadasi and we pray Bhagavad Gita and all these Tulusi, everything, the six muktis, what you just now told me. So whoever these prayers, these things, they no need to do any pinda?
Yes, Prabhu. Remember, I mentioned the Srimad Bhagavatam, remember?
Yes.
The tabs?
Yes.
Right? The Srimad Bhagavatam says, whoever surrendered to Lord Mukunda in devotion, bhakti, or even Tulusi, all don't have to do all the 5 days, remember?
Yes.
Even the ancestor, even the Pitra, right? It mentioned that. So all the time, you don't have to do Pinda, just surrender, do bhakti.
Okay.
That is the answer given to Bhagavad. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Next question.
Prabhu, can I ask a question?
Yes, Ravinder Prabhu. Yes.
Hi. Okay. See, I have an older sister. She's a divorcee, no children, and I'm the younger brother. I myself have 2 sons. So by right, but she has asked my sons to do the Pindadan the moment that she passes away. But I think according to the hierarchy, I'm supposed to be ahead of my own sons, right? To do any funeral rites for my sister, right?
Yeah, you saw the hierarchy, correct? So you can follow the hierarchy. But Prabhu, you saw it goes until 30th. The 30th friends. Even you don't have sons, all that, even friend can do. Okay, it is mentioned that. So, I mean, at this point, like I said, I need to confirm. I just got this information today morning. So I am please do research and confirm whether it's true. But if, I mean, we'll take it with a pinch of salt. So at least you can see, follow the hierarchy. So if the hierarchy is mentioned that you are before your son in the responsibility to perform the funeral for your sister.
Prabhu, just a quick follow-up. My parents are recently deceased, and I did the Brahmin Hindu rites. My sister followed both Sikhism and Hinduism, but she doesn't want to go through all that rigor of the funeral rites. She just wants the Sikh rites, and I've done both for my parents, the Hindu rites. Should I listen to her, or should I conduct the rites because she is also my sister of daughter of my father?
You see, Prabhu, I mean, see, I cannot tell on behalf of Sikhism or any other religion. So I don't want to say that because I feel it's not my right to comment. So I won't be able to tell that whatever performed through Sikhism is wrong. So I'm not going to say that. But as far as my 3-day courses, I spoke from Garuda Purana and Bhagavatam and our Hindu scriptures. Okay. So, and it is meant for everyone. So this, what I've mentioned, is meant for everyone. It's not meant for only for the Hindus. Krishna never says that. Krishna is for every soul. So if you ask me, of course, I'll be happy if you can follow what mentioned in Garuda Purana.
Yeah, thanks, Prabhu. So next,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can I ask a question?
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhu, I have got a question that I wrote in one of the articles saying that iron vessels are not advised to used for Pitru rituals. Instead, use gold, silver, copper, or vessels to please our ancestors. How far it's true, Prabhu? Hare Krishna, thank you.
Yeah, it's true, Mataji. I have read also the best is a gold vessel. It mentioned that for the Brahmanas, we must give gold. It is mentioned there. That is the best thing. Of course, like silver, copper. Yeah. So the least we can give is a copper vessel. Yeah, you're true, Mataji. I've read that also. The least we can give is a copper vessel.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, next question. Gede Kamala Mataji, you can ask a question.
Krishna Babu.
Hare Krishna.
My friend and my some of my relation is doing second TD, third annual TD on the death day, not on the TD. So what's cause of that? Thank you, Babu.
Prabhu, if you have done the annual devasam on other days, not on a Tidi, the Shraddha won't go to them. They won't receive the Shraddha. Even when I read the Garuda Purana, on the Tidi day, the Yamaduta will ask the soul to go and see if the food is offered on the Tidi day. Only on Tidi day, the Yamadutas will allow the disease to go and eat, not any other day. So Shraddha, the yearly Masika Pindam or the Devasam must be performed on the Tidi day, Prabhu. It's never mentioned that don't follow the English calendar, follow the Tidi. If Tidi, they won't get the benefit.
One more question, Babu. Is the second annual TD and third annual TD, we are offering pinda, Masika pinda and food, vegetarian food. Is it the vegetarian food they are taking it?
See, Prabhu, my advice, when you offer the vegetarian food, you offer first to the Lord. You offer to Lord, then you'll become prasadam. Then you offer the vegetarian food to the disease. Then the prasadam will go to the disease. Okay? So that is why it's important that you must offer the food first to the Lord, make it prasadam, and then offer to the disease. Then the disease will get, then that prasadam will go to them. That is my advice, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu.
Okay, PS, you can unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
My question is regarding the Masik Pinda that you said we need to do for the deceased. So I understand this also needs to be done on the Tithi. For example, a person has passed on Ekadashi, then every month on the Ekadashi, that particular Tithi, whether waxing or waning moon, should be performed. Is that correct, Prabhuji?
Okay, Mataji, it is mentioned Bhagavatam that you should not perform any Masika Pinda or Shraddha on Ekadasi. If the Tithi falls on Ekadasi, it is mentioned that you have to do the next day on Dwadasi Tithi. Okay? So if Shraddha or the Masika Pinda falls on Ekadasi, it is mentioned you should not do on Ekadasi. You should not feed grains to the dead person on Ekadasi. Because on Ekadasi, Papa Purusha will reside in grains. So the disease will take the scene. Okay, that is why it is recommended not to do the Shraddha or Masika Pinda on Ekadasi, even though the Tithi falls on Ekadasi. You must do the next day on Dwadasi Tithi.
Okay, Prabhuji. And how many pindas to be offered on Masik?
You can offer 4 pindas, Mataji.
4.
4 balls, 4 pinda.
Okay, every Masika 4 balls.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Mansi. Is there any other last question we can take?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu, Lakshmi here.
Yes, ma'am.
I have one question. Just now, Prabhu was saying that Yajna is equivalent to mouth of Mahavishnu. So at the next slide, he says, but how it can be the way of paying our debts to the devas by performing the Yajna. So how to relate, Prabhu? I don't understand that part. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
You see, Mataji, there are 5 debts Of course, in Vishnu Purana, Lord Vishnu himself says that I ate through two ways. One is through yagya, I'm eating, and second is through brahmanas. Then I also mentioned there are 5 types of depths we will carry when our soul leaves this body. A depth to the devas, depth to the rishis, depth to the ancestors, to the human mankind, and to the other living entities. And to the devas, how you pay back the debt by doing yagya. There is a yagya of Indra yagya, Vayu yagya, Prithivi, like a Bhumi yagya. So by performing this yagya, you're paying back the debts to particular devas. Okay, like Surya Yagya, who is giving sunshine, there is a particular Yagya. Okay, and they will do a Yagya and they will offer to that particular, they will chant the mantra and they will offer the grains, everything to that particular deity. If that Yagya is meant to Lord Indra, they will chant the mantra and offer the grains and the ghee to Lord Indra. Okay, but Krishna, Vishnu's name is Yagya. Vishnu's another name is Yagya. So he is the prime Yagya. He is the master of everyone. At the end of the day, the Yagya will go to him. He is the one. Only if he sanction, Indra can receive the Yagya. Only if he sanction. We never sanction, even Indra or Devas cannot receive the Yagya. So that's what I meant. How we can pay back the debts to the devas by performing a yagya for them. For particular devas for them, there's a special yagya. Vayu yagya, Indra yagya, Surya yagya, Terra yagya. Okay, that's what I meant by that. But you can't, if you are unable to perform yagya, tarpana, all that, you just do bhakti to Mukunda. You do bhakti, you serve the Lord, all the debt will be paid off. That's what Bhagavatam says. So that was what I meant. I hope.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you
thank
so
you.
much. I understand. Hare Krishna.
Oh, sorry, 11 or 2 now. So
Last question, Prabhu.
yes.
Okay, Prabhu, last question.
Prabhu, just now, Paul Mataji is asking about Ekadasi Tithi. I confused on this Tithi, Prabhu. On September 2nd, the Ekadasi Tithi falls on 8:52 a.m. And on 3rd is our Hare Krishna Ekadasi.
Yes.
Ananda Ekadasi.
Yeah.
But on the that falls on Dwadasi on 3rd. But so when we do the for the annual Tithi.
So, Prabhu, that's why, to be honest with you, that is why we have some differences between our calendar and normal calendar. There are differences. Okay, so that is why all of us will use one calendar. Okay, all of us in Malaysia, like devotees, Hare Krishna devotees, ISKCON devotees, we use one calendar.
Yes.
So this calendar, Prabhu, of course, is too bad because there will cause some confusions. Okay, so it's a very lengthy explanation. I won't be able to explain here, but my advice to you is that we have our calendar. You can purchase our calendar in any ISKCON center every year, and please follow because the calendar is done very scrutinizingly, very detailed, very accurately. Our calendar is being calculated. So my advice is that please, you can get our calendar and you can follow the TT mentioned in our calendar.
So I'm telling you about from the ISKCON calendar, Prabhu.
Yes.
From the ISKCON calendar. Because the 2nd of September is electricity start on 8:52 a.m.
Okay.
And ends on 3rd September 10:12 a.m. Okay. So our the ISKCON is performing our electricity is on 3rd. So the city is over already. So we must do the annual TD on 2nd or on 4th.
See, Prabhu, usually what we'll do in a calendar itself, it is mentioned when we should observe the Ekadasi, fasting, when we must break on the door. It is mentioned in the calendar. So if you ask me, I'm not an expert in this calculation, but usually what we'll do, we'll follow our calendar. In our calendar, it mentioned when we must observe the Ekadasi, when we must break the Ekadasi on Dwadasi Tithi. It is mentioned. So usually we'll follow that. So my answer is that if the Shraddha, my answer is that like it mentioned Bhagavatam, never perform any funeral or marriage or Shraddha or Masika on Ekadasi Tithi. If that day we supposed to follow Ekadasi, don't do. So you do next day on Dwadasi. So that is the rule, Prabhu, we follow. So on Ekadasi, don't do. If a calendar mentioned that is Ekadasi day, don't do on that day. Do the next day, that is on Dwadasi. So that is the rule we are following, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Okay, bro. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thanks, bro. The thing is, can we just take one last question from Sarvani, bro, because she been the co-host. She wanted to ask a question.
Yes, Sarvani.
Prabhu, but then I have like a few questions. I'll ask fast, Prabhu. The soul, when it reached Vaikuntha, right, Prabhu, will they return during the Shraddha ceremony to look at how the Shraddha ceremony is done?
No,
That's my
no.
first question.
Janma Karma Chami Vidyam, Krishna mentioned there.
That's right. I was thinking, Prabhu, but then I was just wondering because will they come back to view like how, I don't know how to explain this, but will they be able to come and see, or will they not come because they are detached already?
You see, I mean, it goes by the what Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Once you come back to the spiritual, will never return to the material world. Okay, so the soul probably have gone through millions of births, millions of parents, millions of families. So which Shraddha they want to come back?
So I mean, like if like how Prabhupada comes and visits and gives some instruction, will they be able to do that?
That is a different thing. They all Paramahamsa liberated, so Krishna will send them to perform particular duties of preaching and all that. Okay?
Okay, my second question.
Yes.
So Prabhu, in the Bhagavatam, I read that on the planet of Yamaraj, before they become an animal, take an animal body, like just say they're going to take a hawk, like a pig's body, right? Before they experience that, they will actually practice that living condition in the Yamaloka. So it's also mentioned, Prabhupada actually said in his purport that, he will be enjoying life. So how is that suffering, Prabhu, in the hellish life, hellish condition life? Because he's enjoying.
Enjoying life.
Yeah.
Okay, your first statement is correct, Sarvani. Actually, when I was discussing with Bhakti Mukunda Maharaj, this is what he narrated to me. So, let's say by the karma, the soul is supposed to take the body of a hawk in the next life. So, in hell, when they go through the punishment, you slowly, the subtle body will be transformed to the body of a hawk. Slowly the subtle body. So let's say they were human and they were suffering, and if slowly the subtle body will grow 4 legs, slowly the head will become a head of a hawk. Slowly they will bark, they will shout, they will yell like a hawk. Slowly. So they will train. They will train and the body will develop, that subtle consciousness will develop. Hawk conscious, that's what Maharaj explained to me. So eventually, so by the time they enter the punishment they will have a complete hawk subtle body. And with the hawk subtle body, they'll come to the earth, they'll enter the womb of a hawk, and they develop that material body of a hawk. So that's how Maharaj. So your statement is correct.
Okay, Prabhu, another question, Prabhu. Unnatural death. I heard from a devotee, he mentioned in his class that unnatural death will actually, those devotees or those people, I mean, who have unnatural death, they will become ghosts. And this is also including accidents and pandemic time. So I'm just curious because you didn't mention that earlier. You only mentioned violent deaths, you know. So I was just wondering, Prabhu.
I mean, the violent death, unnatural, the violent death, I can't define because what falls in the category of violent death, okay? But the moment we hear violent mean, the soul will go through tremendous agony, pain, okay? So tremendous disturbing in their consciousness during the violent death. So fear, scared. So that kind of a death will lead them to become ghosts, okay? And it is mentioned. So if you ask me whether this person who died in this condition is considered violent, I won't be able to tell. But what I read is only Yamaraj and the Lord can tell, yes, this category of violent, and you have to go through the consequences of the violent death. This is not violent, and you know, this is part. So we won't be able to tell, but generally as a rule of thumb, we understood that if person goes through, when I read the example given is that they were attacked by tiger, by lion, they were killed by tiger. So that is a violent death. They were chopped by 10, 20 people, killing them. So that is violent, you know. So it'll be very difficult for us to categorize. But for us, we can think generally is what the violent death means. You know?
Okay, well, another question.
Even accident also, Sarvani, if they go through, you know, some people will go through, I mean, so horrible accident, you know. I've seen accident where all their limbs were cut off. Only hit, I saw one accident, I got surprised. I got shocked to see. There's one boy riding a motorbike. He made an accident with a lorry. Only his head with a helmet were on the road, and other limbs all were chopped off. So that is a violent death, you know. So it depends on the consciousness, Sarvani, then of that. Even in accident, if the person can maintain, peacefulness when he leave the body, and then it's not considered as a violent death. So at the end of the day, it depends on our consciousness.
Prabhu, and then there's another thing. Just now you mentioned on Narayana Bali, the thing to do for the people who suicide, right? So I understand that those who committed suicide, they have to roam in the earth until the time that they are actually supposed to die. So that means those who don't do this Narayana Bali, this will apply for those who don't do the Narayana Bali. Means to confirm that means those only who have the privilege of doing Narayana Bali, they won't remain as ghosts anymore. And the one who don't do, they will continue until the time of death. Is it right? Am I right?
I understood. When once I discussed this topic with Nrsimha Prabhu, so Nrsimha Prabhu, he said he can do Narayana Bali. So there was one case of committed suicide. So I called him and I spoke to him about that. So, but he told me that Narayana Bali is a very detailed rituals. It's a very rituals, and it takes a lot of things. You know, and one of thing he recommended to do Bhagavatam Sabda for 7 days. Family members had to read Bhagavatam for 7 days, for few hours a day. So it's very detailed and very rigorous. And so in Malaysia, usually India they will do, but definitely those who have committed suicide, after 1 year, it is mentioned in Garuda Purana, they must do Narayana Bali. If not, they will remain as a ghost until their lifespan. Let's say they are meant to live until 80 years old, but 20 years they committed suicide. So balance 60 years, they will remain as a ghost. If Narayana are performed, then they will cut off that and they will continue journey as per their karma. So they won't remain ghosts for balance, years if Narayana Bali is performed.
Okay, Prabhu, I have last question before Mula Karana Prabhu asks his question. Just now, someone asked about the 30 days, how people are usually doing their Karamadi on 30 days, actually. I've read somewhere, I'm not sure where I read it, but they say that Brahmana after 11 days, and then for Shudras is actually after 30 days, something like that, Prabhu.
That is a more
Sorry, Prabhu?
period.
mourning period. Oh.
So, Sutra, they have to mourn for 30 days. It is mentioned. I've read that also. Okay, Brahmana, I think 10 days. Kshatriya 12 days, Vaishya 15 days, and Sudra 30 days. It is a mourning period. Mourning period, okay? But I never knew that Karmadi people do on 30th day. They do a ceremony on 30th day ceremony. Usually on 14 days do Karmadi, and 30th they'll do one more ceremony. Nupadhan solluvaanga, Nupadhan in Tamil. Okay? On the 30th day, they'll do another ceremony. But I never heard they do Karmadi on a 30th day.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. That's all from me. Mulakarna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I should be asking question to you, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. What's the question, Prabhu?
No, Prabhu's not mute. Prabhu is not unmute himself. Yeah, look like no Prabhu is not muting himself.
Mulakarna Prabhu. It's not. I
Yeah.
saw raising.
Yeah, I asked to unmute, but Prabhu's not mute.
Okay, Prabhu. If there's no any question, we can end here.
Yeah, okay, Prabhu. So for the part 2, Prabhu, we will update them.
I'll send out to everyone, and hopefully you all can join the part 2, more informations. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who joined the journey for the last 3 days. Thank you very much. If I've said anything wrong, if I offended anybody with words, please forgive me. I'm a very bad presenter, and definitely whatever I spoke may not, please don't take whatever I've spoken as absolute. Okay, of course, this scripture, these words can be interpreted according to temporal circumstances. Okay, that is why very important for you to consult senior devotee, guru, authority, priest for answers. Okay, because different situation will have different. Even Krishna mentioned Bhagavad Uddhava, even truth can be false under different situation. Krishna said that. Even truthful can become false in different situation. Krishna said that. Okay. So I thank everyone for joining this 3 days journey. Thank you very much. Please join the Gita Gyan, and please remember the 6